Brianna Lawton. I am a third-year PhD student at Iowa State University, majoring in civil engineering with a focus in transportation engineering.
My name is Mariah Connor. I'm a sophomore in industrial engineering at Iowa State, and I am the outreach co-coordinator for Cardinal Space Mining Club here on campus, which is a NASA robotics mining competition team.
My name is Dannia Thorpe, and I'm currently majoring in mechanical engineering with a minor in leadership studies, and I'm originally from Frisco, Texas.
I'm Grace Carey. I'm a senior studying dietetics at Iowa State. I'm from Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and I also have a minor in child, adult, and family services.
My name is Emily Padabam. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I am a third-year physics student at Iowa State.
I'm a senior in materials engineering, obviously here at Iowa State. I'm also minoring in biomedical engineering and Spanish.
My name is Javelis. I use she pronouns. My home is in Puerto Rico. I'm a junior in animal ecology with the pre-vet option, and I have also a minor in animal science.
My name is Linnea Yokup. I am a senior in mechanical engineering. I am from the Northwest Chicago suburbs, and I also have a minor in business.
To Iowa State for multiple various reasons. One, I did hear that they had a very strong transportation engineering program, and they do have a lot of, well-connected, opportunities when it comes down to the program that I'm in, as far as the Institute of Transportation, in the research park, and the projects that we work on with federal agencies and other fellow universities. So that interested me.
One of the things that I loved about Iowa State was that I knew a lot of people there, and I knew a lot of professors there, and I knew a lot of people that had worked there, and they were all so kind and encouraging and invested in what they were doing. And it just seemed that anytime I was on campus for my robotics club, or I met someone that went to Iowa State, they were just very interested in what they were doing, and they were very they spoke very highly of the people they worked with and the students that they had. And
I believe this is my sophomore, junior year of high school. I came to basically Iowa State for a full week through WiSE summer camp, got to interact with WiSE staff members and everything, professors on campus, and other girls that are going to be in STEM. And that was my first true experience I had on campus at ISU. I didn't feel like I was away from home. I felt like I was right at home with all the girls that were there at the summer camp. The staff was super friendly. The WiSE office was really amazing. So it was a really great first experience for me, being a junior or sophomore in a high school, getting to experience a college campus for a full week during the summer. And so that really was my big welcome and kind of this is I want to be here moment at Iowa State.
For many different reasons, I visited other colleges in Iowa, but once I figured out that I wanted to study dietetics, Iowa State was the only school in the state that offered that program. And I really enjoyed meeting with all the advisors and the faculty that I got to interact with when visiting. And I just loved the campus, and everyone was so nice and welcoming.
When I visited campus when I was still in high school and talked to people there, everyone was telling me about all of these different research opportunities that really appealed to me because I was interested in research going into college and knew that was something I wanted to pursue.
As I knew their reputation for careers in STEM, I also loved the campus.
So I chose Iowa State because back home we don't have a vet school. So I knew I had to get out of the nation to go to vet school. And then Iowa State actually has a recruiter for Puerto Rico. And this recruiter travels all the way over there. And I feel like they stayed there for like 2 months or something like that. So they went to my high school when I was a junior, when I was a senior. And he was always like very welcoming and very nice. And I feel like it was different from the other universities. And then I learned that they had a really good vet school. And I was like, okay, I need to be there.
I felt like Iowa State really had a lot of opportunities. At first, I was a little intimidated about it being a larger school, but I feel like having that larger school aspect gives it a lot more opportunities and resources and can kind of allow you to make it that smaller school feeling within a big school.
I would say honestly all the way back to like middle school, I've always loved and been connected to STEM. Since I was like in middle school, my parents put me in like STEM programs, me and my other siblings, and I think I got exposure to it very young, and I think that's why I do like and enjoy what I do. I've had, years of exposure to it. And I encourage that for all students, whatever you're interested in, just expose yourself to things, because you never know what you're really going to like and pick up on.
I wasn't sure that, I didn't quite feel like I had the right background for STEM. I always felt insecure because I wasn't always the best in my science classes, or it took me a long time to do my math homework because it was hard. So just all this stuff where I wasn't quite sure if it was right, but I just loved the people so much, and I wanted to be that kind of person that could solve problems, that could just work really hard to be in that environment. And I have loved it ever since then.
Middle school, high school, I got more involved with robotics classes, robotics clubs. Our school actually offered Project Lead the Way, or PLTW, which is basically a way for students to get hands-on experience in STEM before they even got to college, to kind of figure out if that's what they actually want to do. And I fell in love with those courses when I took them in high school.
Since I guess I was in high school and middle school, I just really enjoyed science a lot. I really liked chemistry and biology. But when I was choosing a career field, I knew I wanted to incorporate those science classes, but I really do have a passion for working with people. So that's what made dietetics a really good career for me.
It wasn't until 8th grade when we had a physical science class that I really got into science specifically. We had a chemistry unit where we were learning about the periodic table and atoms and electrons, and it was the coolest thing I had ever heard in my entire life. And so that got me interested in chemistry. And I started, reading books and just looking things up on the internet about chemistry, and eventually learned about physics in that way.
So I chose a major in STEM because I really enjoyed math in middle school and high school. I also enjoyed problem solving and organization, especially spreadsheets. And honestly, I didn't really enjoy science class, but I decided that I could overlook that. And so far, it's not been a problem for me, and I've really enjoyed to love all my chemistry classes, and especially being materials engineering, I've learned to love science.
In the animal ecology major, I found more people that talk about different issues about the animal population in general, and also the classes are more broad. You have classes for birds and for mammals and for reptiles, and it's just you get to get a bigger perspective of animals.
As a kid, I loved the show How It's Made. It was, I don't know if you've heard of it before, it was kind of a nerdy, weird, boring show, but I loved it, just seeing how they make things. I would like taking things apart, and so I kind of began to realize I should go down that route of the classes that I really enjoyed. And I actually attended a STEM fest with my mom and my little brother through her work, and I realized, wow, I can actually build things and learn how they work for a living.
Go for it. Don't limit yourself. I think sometimes, we think that we are going or venturing into a new, career path, or some, career path where a lot of people, there's not a lot of representation, right? There's not a lot of maybe Hispanic women. There's not a lot of Black African-American women, Afro-Latino women, And so when you get into those spaces, you might feel a little bit of fear. You might feel a little bit of oh my gosh, there's nobody that looks like me. But you're creating that path for people that are going to come behind you. And just know that you're being a trailblazer.
Comparison is the root of a lot of evil. And that whether you're comparing yourself to other women or comparing yourself to men in your environment, or it doesn't matter who you're comparing yourself to, just don't. All you really need to do is compare yourself to who you were yesterday. I would also just encourage you to challenge yourself, but to find those things that make you feel like you're in your element.
The biggest piece of advice I can give is definitely don't be afraid to reach out to faculty members, organizations like WiSE, and on whatever campus you end up going to. There's definitely people like you on campus that are looking for the connections, looking for resources, just looking for someone to be with that either study with or just have a close basically a close, safe haven to go to sometimes. You just want to kind of be around people like you. And so not being afraid to reach out, email professors, email different organizations on campus, or start your own to kind of be that resource for other students. And also just say, make sure you make time for yourself is my second piece of advice. It's really easy to get caught up with STEM courses, just doing math, science, reading, and doing work all day long and not taking time for yourself. And so just really making sure that you're dedicating time also personally just for school, but also just for you as well.
I would say just to be confident in yourself and to really take advantage of all the opportunities. It's really easy to like feel overwhelmed or to say yes to everything. So just like make sure you're picking stuff you're really passionate about and working in those areas.
Don't be discouraged, I guess, especially if you go on your first year and you're really excited and it's like, oh, things are, maybe not quite what I expected, or I'm like having a hard time, maybe with the material or fitting in. Don't be afraid to talk to people. Don't be discouraged and think, oh, maybe I'm the only one that's feeling like this, because I promise you're not.
I would encourage everyone to pursue STEM. I think there's lots of career growth for people in STEM. And I would just encourage you to get involved, learn more about all the different aspects of STEM. And if you want to do it, do it. Don't let anything stop you.
Pursue the degree that you desire. And also it's fine if you, like when you're already studying it, you decide to change your mind. Like that's totally fine. Like in college, you discover so many things about yourself. So let yourself be free and learn new things and educate yourself and find your own person in college, whatever that means to you, and just celebrate like what you want to do and who you want to be as a woman, as a role model.
For girls going into STEM, it can be incredibly intimidating. And I think as a fellow female in engineering, you feel like you have to be two steps ahead of almost of your male peers. You feel like you have to prove yourself even more than them. I know that for me, my standard is like getting A's in classes, and for some of my male peers, it's C's. And so I would say don't be too hard on yourself. You're doing great, and you really don't have to fit that crazy standard that you feel like society has kind of set up for you.